You know, one of the great things about running this school is I get to have incredible people here. And this week we have Patrick Edwards here, who is absolutely the best marketeerian I've ever seen anywhere. And I think that you'll agree as you see some of his work. But one of the things that I want to do is share a little bit more about him and where he comes from and his background, because it's really interesting how he's gotten from where he was to where he is today. So Patrick, let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
In high school,
Yeah.
what was it that you wanted to do in life?
Build an electron accelerator.
And you went to school for that, didn't you?
I was in honors physics. I got sweepstakes at the science fair, and they told me I could go to the national and represent San Diego. And I said, you know, I'd rather ride a bicycle in Europe.
And so you did get your degree.
I got the degree in applied physics.
But you never really, did you actually go to work in that
I
world?
worked briefly. My career is less than 5 years.
And you said, go ride a bike in Europe. So did you actually do that at some point in time?
I did that right out of high school. Instead of going to the science fair, I said I'd rather go to Europe, and I rode for 3 months in Europe.
Was woodworking at all on your radar at that time?
No, I no teaching.
Well,
no.
what happened to spark that? Was it while you were in Europe?
No. Well, I saw a lot of antiques in Europe and everything, but it was more of a decision I made in the physics industry about the moral justification for nuclear waste.
Yeah.
I really was dismayed that we would produce a waste product, and it became very polarizing because this is the industry.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't change it. The only thing I can do is walk away from it. And so I decided to do something that would be entirely the opposite, which would be a pre-industrial cabinet maker. I just made that decision and said, okay.
What year would that have been?
Well, I was restoring antiques from 69 on, and I quit physics in 73, and so it was about 73.
So you were kind of doing both at the same time.
Yeah, but the restoring was to pay for college. It was a job to pay for college. I was going to be a physicist. That was what I was in college for, and I went out and got the job. And then one day in 73, the personnel called me into the office, and he said, you have to choose between your hobby and your career.
Yep.
And I was teaching decorative arts 4 nights a week. I had a television show. I was restoring antiques, and I had this job. So I said, gee, if I quit the job, I can spend more time on what I like to do. And I haven't regretted it.
And back then, it was you started off in restoration.
Yeah.
And today, your name is still the same. What's the name of your company today?
wpatrickedwards.com. And my business is Antique Refinishers. My other business is the school, American School of French Marquetry.
So now let me go back to that time period as you're making this transition, because you said a lot of things there at one point in time.
Yeah.
You mentioned about TV and work and blah, blah, blah. But there was one other thing that I think is really interesting about your history. You are also a community man. You were very much involved in community in San Diego.
My business was located in a historic district in San Diego, which was set aside when they built the Mission Valley Hotel Complex. This is North Park. It's an old historic district. And there was no place to eat. There was no activity. All the stores were vacant. And they were wonderful historic buildings. So I started a business association by law. We can do this in California. And was president off and on for 30 years. And during those 30 years of historic revitalization, I was involved in 5 nonprofit management corporations. So my joke was that I dress like this for work because we're woodworkers. But my hobby at that time was to put on a business suit with a power tie and go run some board meeting to push forward the revitalization of a historic business district. I was appointed by the mayor to a board, and I ended up running 17 citywide business districts for 4 years. And I think I improved a lot of them.
And that was then, you're still very much involved in the community, but you also mentioned TV too. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I started a TV show on CBS in 73. There was 10 half hours. I did a couple documentaries for museums, the Mingay Museum, Timken. I got nominated for Emmys for those. But television is no longer an educational platform. And it's an entertainment platform, and I'm no longer interested in television.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on that. So now as we flash forward just real quick, you then obviously went to the Echo Bull.
Yes, I was invited to go to Echo Bull.
And how long were you there?
Throughout 10 years.
And you
Not
worked
full-time.
directly with?
Dr. Pierre Ramon
Yep.
invited me personally. I got spread around the school, different professors. I learned marquetry, French marquetry.
You know, that book is the standard for the entire trade. And here you actually spent 10 years with him.
The last 10 years of his teaching career.
And when you see your work today, it is absolutely unbelievably astounding. You said one thing the other night, though, that threw me for a loop. You said that you only work with hand tools.
Yeah, because of the moral decision to leave high-tech industry, I thought it was best just to work with traditional tools, period tools, as a conservator. And it's cheaper. I don't have to buy power tools. It's safer. And the process is what it's all about for me. I followed the philosophy of workmanship of risk from David Pye, who wrote in '68 when I first started learning about woodworking, but I never took a class until I went to Paris.
Yeah, wow. Well, his work is unbelievable. I hope someday that you get to take a workshop with him. He does have workshops at his place in San Diego. We also have him here. And we would love to have you spend time with him, get to know more about Patrick. His work is absolutely astounding. It's an honor and a treasure to have him be a part of our program, Patrick. Thank you very, very much.
Mark, you're a great guy. Thanks for having me as a teacher.